What's going on, everybody? It is your man Big Dog here. Welcome to episode 152 of the Doghouse, baby.
Well done.
I gotta change that back to the applause or the Don DeMarco one. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. That damn dog, neighbor's dog, is barking again. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Sorry about that. That dog really gets on my nerves sometimes. Anyway, today's topics are going to be twofold. One, we're going to talk about the RTX 4080 supercars that are going to be coming out.
The information for the RTX 40 Super Series. All the information for the RTX 40 Super Series has now leaked, but should you actually buy one? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's find out, shall we?
Before that, this video is brought to you by VIPCDKdeals.com. CDK Deals is a website dedicated to getting you in your keys. So if you want to learn more, be sure
Let's be realistic. Nobody's really buying Windows keys
to
anymore.
click the link in the description below. Okay, so maybe you're on the fence as to whether or not you want to buy that new RTX 4070, 4070 Ti, or maybe even RTX 4080, but you're hearing about these new RTX 40 Super Series GPUs and wondering, is it worth waiting for these graphics cards? I mean, everybody's telling you it is, but is that actually true, or is this going to be a giant rug pull? Well,
I mean, with NVIDIA's track history, I wouldn't be surprised if it is. If it's not, that'd be great.
let's go ahead and find out, because yes, we have basically all the information on this entire series, including the release dates, the full specs, and likely performance as well. So there's no need to wait for NVIDIA's official benchmarks that are going to be probably very cherry-picked when you can just get it all right here. Now,
Yeah, it's pretty true.
all the information I'll be showing you guys today is coming from a videocards.com article. And let's go ahead and break it down, first starting off with the RTX 4080 Super. As I know there's a ton of people who are very interested in this GPU, but just felt like the value 4080 Super. As I know there's a ton of people who are very interested in this GPU, but just felt like the value really wasn't there with the RTX 4080. Is that going to change?
Yeah, what was that card, like $1,200?
Well, taking a look at the specs here, guys, we're talking about a GPU that's going from 9,728 shaders on the current 4080 to 10,240 on the RTX 4080 Super. So roughly a 5.
Okay, that's not bad, I guess. Still the same amount of VRAM. Excuse me. And the same amount of power draw. And it's supposedly coming out at the end of January.
Bruh.
Of course it is. Because
500
why would
shader
it come out
increase
like
on this GPU? Now
whatever.
there's also a chance that it could be getting a slight clock speed bump on both the cores as well as potentially the memory to make it just that little bit faster. But overall, if you do some simple math, we're talking about roughly a 5% increase in terms of performance. So obviously waiting for more
Actually, go back. What did he say?
5% increase in terms of performance. So
See, now that's some bullshit.
What the fuck?
Only 5%? 5%? I mean, it's nice, I guess, but that's not a lot. 5% is not a lot.
obviously waiting for more performance, that doesn't really make sense, but what does have the potential to change this completely is the pricing. The RTX 4080 launched at $1,200 and can be regularly had for close to $1,100 today. However, rumor has it the RTX 4080 Super will be significantly cheaper. There's two options that I'm hearing right now, either $1,000 or roughly $900, so definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below as to what NVIDIA should be pricing this at, and share this video with your friends.
If that's the amount of money it's gonna be, that's gonna be a big L, and I'll explain why. It's gonna be an L for NVIDIA because it's gonna make a lot of people question why the hell was the 4080 $1,200 when you could have given us this roughly the same amount of performance, slightly better, for what, $100, $200 cheaper? Because I don't know about you guys, because to me, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, if you could have, if you're pricing the 4080 Super at $1,000, why couldn't you do that with the 4080? And we all know the answer to that, because NVIDIA is greedy.
To get the message out, as yes, NVIDIA definitely does watch videos like these. I know for a fact they do, so every comment that you make definitely can change the outcome. So
Stop the cap.
I disagree. I think if once these companies have their minds set up, they're not going to change their minds unless they get massive backlash. And and Nvidia got massive backlash with the 40 series cards, and they still priced them the way they did. Think about that.
Please do that in the comments below if you feel strongly about this. But if we're to break it down here, guys, is it worth waiting for this card? Well, first of all, we have to, we know the performance, but when is it releasing? Well, it looks like, according to videocards.com, the on-shelf availability will be January 31st of 2024. So depending on when you're watching this video, it should be roughly a month from now. So is it worth waiting a month? Well, let's go ahead and break down the value. At $1,000, let's say the RTX 4080 is getting 100 FPS, and then the 5% increase on the 4080 Super gets you 105 FPS. Well, the cost per frame of the 4080 would be about $11 per frame, assuming you can get it for around $1,100. Whereas this new RTX 4080 Super, well, if it's $1,000, we're talking about $9.52 per.
And also, let's be realistic. $1,000 is just the MSRP. Like, all these third-party vendors are not going to be charging the MSRP for their cards. They're going to be charging more for their cards. So you're going to be paying more for a better card, quote-unquote better card, than a Founders Edition.
Per frame, or 13% less per frame, and overall 5% more performance. And is it worth waiting roughly a month for that? And honestly, I'm going to tell you guys, no, I don't think it is. So
I don't disagree. I don't think it's a great idea.
So if you're on the fence as to whether or not you want to buy an RTX 4080 at all, I would still not buy this graphics card. I just don't think it makes sense. However, if it comes in at $900, things do start to change, because now we're talking about...
Again, I gotta disagree. Because you know what? He's kind of right. He's kind of right. If it's $900, that's still slightly better. But then it still begs the question, why didn't Nvidia do it at this price at the first place? And again, the answer is because money.
$8.57 per
sound
frame,
effect.
or roughly 22% less than the current RTX 4080. And is it worth waiting for and buying this GPU? And my answer to that would be yes. At $900, I would recommend it. And again, let me know in the comments below if you think that's worth it, or if you think it should be even less. But now
it'll never be less.
let's go ahead and move on to the RTX 4070 Ti Super. This one's definitely very interesting, because while it does
Okay, so this is supposedly a step up from what I have.
get a spec bump in terms of performance over the RTX 4070 Ti, it also gets a memory increase, moving from 12 to 16 gigabytes of GDDR6X, which not only will make it far more future-proof, from 12 to 16 gigabytes of GDDR6X, which not
I don't understand that.
only will make it far more future-proof, but should also increase the performance substantially. So there's a lot of people who are very interested in this card. Is it worth waiting for? Well, once again, when is it releasing? Well, we do know that according to the Video Cards article, it should be on shelf around January 24th. That's just under roughly a month from now. But what about the performance? What can we expect? Well, apparently a 10% bump in the overall performance, at least.
Still not enough for me.
In theory. Now, is it worth it for that 10%? No, once again. However, what about the pricing? Well, if it comes out at $800, guys, doing the same math here, instead of the 4070 Ti, which is currently available for roughly around $750, or commonly is, well, that would be about $7.
Go back. What was the original MSRP for the 4070 Ti? It was $800. That would be the same price.
Nope.
No, I disagree. It wouldn't be worth it for a 10% increase in performance. Are you kidding me? No.
Bump in the overall performance, at least in theory. Now, is it worth it for that 10%? No, once again. However,
Thank you.
what about the pricing? Well, if it comes out at $800, guys, doing the same math here, instead of the 4070 Ti, which is currently available for roughly around $750, or commonly is, well, that would be about $7.50 per frame if he was getting 100 FPS. And if the 4070 Ti Super was getting 110 FPS, well, if they bring it out at the same original MSRP of $800, we're talking about $7.27 per frame, or roughly 3% less. Obviously, in my opinion, despite the fact that it does have 16 gigabytes of VRAM, a huge upgrade, I just don't think it's worth waiting to...
I agree. It's not. Like, even with the VRAM upgrade, it's ridiculously still overpriced.
to get 3%
Listen, in my
more
opinion,
value
what
in
do I
terms
know?
of its actual performance. However, if they bring it out at $750, things might change. So at
For me, they would not.
Nope.
I wholeheartedly disagree. This is just a money grab.
$750, we'd be talking about a significant reduction in the cost per frame, which would mean you'd be spending around 9% less per frame. And between that and the extra 4 gigabytes of GDDR6, if it is truly coming in at that $750, I would say that's just good enough where I probably would wait and actually buy this GPU. But if it's any over $750, I really don't know if it's worth purchasing this GPU at all, and you might just be better off going with an AMD alternative if you want more VRAM, or just waiting for new GPUs entirely. But now let's go ahead and move on to...
Oh yeah, supposedly the 50 series cards are supposed to be coming out this year, which
Nope.
I'm not getting those.
The final GPU, the
done with
RTX 4070
GPUs for
Super. Is
now.
it worth waiting for the 4070 Super? Again, when is it releasing? Well, this time, just over 2 weeks roughly since the creation of this video. January 17th, 2024 is the apparent on-shelf availability. If that's the case, is it worth waiting around 2 weeks? Well, it might be, depending on the performance. And here, guys, this is going to be apparently the biggest performance increase, as this one should be going from 5,888 shaders on the current 4070 to 7,168. That is, in theory, roughly a 22%.
Still not worth it in my opinion. I'm
increase,
sorry.
A pretty significant amount.
I'm sorry, it's
if
not worth it in my
The
opinion.
4070 is getting 100 FPS and this one's getting 122 FPS. Is it actually going to be worth it in terms of cost per frame? Again, it depends on the price. So the 4070 can be commonly had for...
You guys know my answer. It's no.
$550 today, putting it at around $5.50 per frame. Well, at $600, if they do launch the 4070 Super at that original MSRP, that would actually be $4.92 per frame, or 11% less. Is it worth waiting 2 weeks to save 11% per frame? Probably not, but if that is like your maximum budget and you're going to get 22% more performance for that roughly $600, then maybe it is. It really depends on what your situation is. But what about at a cheaper price? Well, if they do bring it out at $550 that the RTX 4070 is currently...
They're not fucking doing that.
Widely available at, now we're talking about $4.51 per frame, or roughly 18% less per frame than the current RTX 4070. And that would actually be a pretty significant savings and also a significant upgrade in terms of performance for the same amount of money. So at that point, I would say yes, it's definitely worth waiting just roughly around 2 weeks to buy this GPU. And I would actually say that the 4070 Super at $550 would be a really good graphics card overall, especially if it ends up dropping to like $500. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I mean, do you think that, say, $550 is good for the
Alright, enough of this. Like I said, I'm gonna just sit here and say that I don't think that this is gonna be worth it in my opinion. But then again, what do I know? I am just a guy with a microphone. Alright, now, there's something I wanted to talk about that I haven't talked about, or a person that I want to talk about that I have not talked about in a while. And that person is DSP Gaming. Now, apparently, DSP Gaming is rebranding his, what do you call it? His old... What do you call it? I completely forgot what it's called. His old content. There you go. Apparently, he's going to be rebranding his old KO Gaming channel into a throwback channel where he posts all his old... What do you call it? Where he posts his old playthroughs, which... I don't know how I feel about that yet. But... I don't know. Let's... Give me 2 seconds and let me find... Let me find the video where he does actually initially talk about this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? God damn it, where is it? Okay, here it is.
I need that money. I really, really.
Let's get
do.
into
I
it.
need that money.
And shout out to Duty Streams, by the
I
way.
really need that money.
I'm gonna skip the intro.
This weekend, and then well, probably Monday, and then full speed ahead for the year-end series.
You know what? I'm gonna speed this up because this guy has a nasty habit of talking too much.
Now, a couple other things.
Perfect,
I
there
will say
we
this,
go.
This is just a very vague preview, I know. In 2024, there's a few interesting things in the works. That's all I'm going to say. That's literally it. I'm not going to give you any more information. Because I don't want
Oh, here we go. He's being vague.
everyone's going to speculate, I know. There's a few interesting ideas that I've had and things I'm working on that I think you guys are going to like. But I'm the kind of guy, as you all know, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
Yo. Did this man unironically just say that he doesn't want to overpromise and underdeliver? Dude, you are the king of doing that. Granted, I'm no better, but still. I haven't been doing this for 15 fucking years.
You know from my behavior these
Good
last few
Lord.
years, I don't want to get ahead of myself and tell you half a story before the story is done and then leave you hanging.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
Rather that everything is complete, all the pieces are in place, everything's ready to go
Oh man.
before I make any announcements.
Okay.
Alright? But what I will just tell you is this.
I'm listening.
2024 is stacking up to be one of the most, if not the most interesting year that I've ever been on the internet for me and possibly you.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Let's just put it that way. There's things coming that you guys have asked for a while that may or may not happen, but I hope they do. So I'm just going to say that, like, big things coming in 2024. All right? Now, one thing that I can talk about, because this one 100% is actually in my power, is that I feel like within the first couple months of 2024, I should take action on the backup hard drive archives, the lost media
Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go.
that has been lost for so many years and then refound last year when I went into the closet and I found the hard drives and we accessed them live on a stream, all right? And we found out that the lost media existed and could actually be used, all right? Now you might be saying, well, what lost media? Well, there's various different playthroughs that have been lost to time because I had those videos on other YouTube channels. You see, back in the day, 10, 15...
Oh my lord. He's going into the story. Sorry to bore you guys and put you guys through this, but it's relevant, so
15 years ago,
just
YouTube was a very different animal.
bear with me.
Right then, back then it was like the Wild West. No one actually knew if it was okay to upload gameplay footage or not, and people were afraid of certain companies. Rockstar was one, and Square Enix was another, where you were always afraid if you were to upload content from their new releases that they were going to strike you down
Okay, he's not entirely wrong at this. This did happen back in the day.
with copyright strikes or takedown requests. And so, basically, those were videos like my original Red Dead Redemption playthrough, my
Okay.
original LA Noire playthrough. Okay,
I'm
Game
skipping
did
this.
crazy stunts and things like that, plus the entire 100 hours of gameplay right there. That's been lost to time because those channels were erased from YouTube when someone hacked them and put up illegal football or soccer footage and then got the channels banned. Okay,
I thought that's not what happened. Nah, never mind. I don't care anymore.
so
Just get
what I
on
would
with it,
like
will
to
you?
do, either January or February or during that time frame, is set something up on YouTube that's not this channel. All right, I don't want to do it on this channel because this channel already has enough content. It's all the new stuff. I don't want to inundate subscribers to this channel with a ton of new videos that are actually 15 years old and they don't care about, right? I don't want already. I don't want. I've worked really hard to build this channel up for as little viewership as I get. Let's be honest. So I don't want to hamper that in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, that part he's not lying. He does get very little viewership. And then again, like I said, I'm like a tenth of his size. And I do okay. I don't do great, but I do okay.
All right.
He's a, what, 200,000 subscriber channel that can barely get 1,000 views on a video,
So
which is pretty
what
bad.
I'm going to do is
It's pretty
basically
bad.
find a place, and I don't know where it's going to be yet, but I have an idea, where we're going to upload all of that classic content. And I don't know if it'll be called like DSP's Lost Media or DSP's Archives or the old school. You know, we'll think about it.
He's calling it DSP Throwbacks.
I'll get some ideas in my head of what I want to call it. And basically what I will do is make that channel, and I will upload slowly that content. Arguably maybe 5 to 10 videos a day, like overnight, right? That's what I would do. Like basically I would at night set up my normal stuff to upload here on DSP Gaming like I always do, but then when I'm done with that, jump over to that other channel and queue up 5 or 10 videos, because you got...
Okay, I just want you guys to, and I'm gonna go to the main screen for a minute just to explain this. I want you guys to hear what he's saying. He's basically saying he's gonna be creating a whole new channel to put up all of his older content. Just think about that. He's not doing anything quote-unquote revolutionary. He's not doing anything new. He's just taking his old stuff and putting it back. Putting it onto a new channel, which...
But why?
Not sure why he would do that, but to each their own, I guess. I'm not watching it.
You gotta understand that the videos back then were only 15 minutes long at max. Some were 10, some were 15. That Final Fantasy 13 playthrough is over, well, I think it's around 200 parts.
Yeah, that's a lot. Ain't nobody ain't got time for all that.
Because they're 15 minutes long, you see? So that's a lot of work. And the thing is, those video files are giant because they were filmed with a camera. They're not direct capture, like what you're literally watching me broadcast and upload right now. This podcast is completely...
You know, Phil, you wouldn't have had this problem had you adopted direct capture when people were telling you to do it, instead of fighting it. If you don't believe me, look into it. He fought that shit for years.
Encoded, the size is shrunken before, you know, then it's run through YouTube filters and encoded. Those are raw files. They're huge.
Oh,
a single
boy.
15-minute file from back then is bigger than a 1-hour file that I put out today. So it takes forever to upload them. What the fuck? So, I want to do
Jesus
this
Christ.
starting in January if I can. The only reason I say I don't want to promise again, I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. I don't want to say
It just keeps making me laugh when he says that shit. Because it's so contradictory to who he is.
absolutely doing it in January, and
Jeez.
then something happens, right? You never know what's going to happen. I don't want something to happen and then I can't do it because something crazy comes in the middle. But it is my intention that at some point in January coming up, I will actually start uploading this lost media slowly but sure. Whether it's 5 videos, 10 videos a night, whatever it is, at least it's going somewhere and people will watch it. Now here's the thing. I need people's buy-in that they're going to be interested in at least watching. If I'm putting all this extra time and effort into doing this, and these videos are getting 10 views, then it's not worth...
Oh my god, here he goes. The extra effort, like, bro, you don't edit your videos. You don't edit your videos. And I know I shouldn't be throwing stones, because I used to not do that. I started doing it now. Turns out it's a lot more fun than I imagined. Like, seriously, man, edit your videos. You'd be surprised. People will enjoy it.
with my time. I'm just being honest. It's not. I have better things to do. I'll spend time with my family. I'll work on other content rather than sitting here uploading these videos. But people have been asking me for these lost playthroughs for so long that you would think that there would at least be a couple hundred people who might be interested in watching these videos, right? So let's see if indeed that is the case, okay? But this is my plan for next year. Now here's the thing. People might say, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to make thumbnails for those videos? Are you going to put titles on those videos? That is all
I mean, that would be cool, I guess.
undecided.
So that's a no.
Nope.
That's probably a no.
It's always possible, but you have to understand that I don't really have time to make thumbnails. Could I title the videos?
Yoy. Here he goes again. I don't have time to do that. Like, me, I legitimately could say that, because I have a full-time job on top of doing this. Like, hell, doing what I do now is, enough of a chore. And I'm not even as big as he is. So for him to sit here and be like, oh, it's too much for me. Make the time, dude. If your audience wants it, make the time.
Yeah, but let's say I upload 10 videos. So what am I supposed to do? Watch 150 minutes of gameplay before I upload that night to figure out what's in each video? Probably not. Some of those videos are like 2 fights, you know? If it's playing Final Fantasy 13, it's like 2 big fights or something, you know? So I basically need to think about this. I need to kind of brainstorm what I want to do with this stuff, all right?
You probably wouldn't be having these issues if you had an editor when you were
Go
big.
from there. So let me think about it. Let me work on it. Because by the way, you know, I don't make my own film.
Alright, this is boring me. Let me find the other video. There's another video. there's another video. I don't know if this is the one.
Dude, I need that money. Old content, KO Gaming, but it's been defunct for over 5 years. I
Duty streams.
rebranded one of my old defunct channels that used to be called KO Gaming. It's been defunct for over 5 years. I rebranded it as DSP Throwback. This channel is now going to be a way for me to preserve old content of mine from over a decade ago. You know, those old style playthroughs that were done with a camera pointed at a TV before there was direct capture, before there was live streaming. But back then, when the commentary was irreverent and very, very immature, and it was for a younger teen audience. Because today, I have less than 1% of my viewers are teens. I'm not kidding. That's the demographics I get on YouTube. Teenagers don't
I would like to see receipts of that.
watch me, okay? Back then, they absolutely did. Like, almost all my viewers were teens back in the day. So,
Yeah, I can admit I did watch him for a time.
my commentary was definitely very different. A lot of people would say today, you wouldn't even want to do that kind of commentary, you get canceled, right? But back then, it was kind of the wild west of YouTube. And
You already got canceled to a degree. Ah, shit, wrong
you
button.
could say whatever you wanted, and people loved it, so I rolled with that for many years, probably like 3-4 years straight. But when I started, until I started doing the direct capture live streaming, my commentary was pretty over the top.
God damn, dude.
So, no, bookworm, I'm serious. My teens are 1% of my audience. Do you want my demographics right now? I can actually pull up teen years. You see, scheduled kind of guy. It's one style that everyone uses, and everyone's kind of copying each other. And I don't do that shit. I do it very differently. I'm more organized, more professional. Video games, in a way, you see? And that's what I tell you guys. My content is not for kids.
Sorry.
It's just not. It was at one point, but what kid wants to watch a 40-some-year-old play video games in a way that's very different than how all the other top guys do it, right? Today on YouTube, it's just this one style that everyone uses, and everyone's kind of copying each other. And I don't do that shit.
Well, it's one style because it works.
Yep.
It's because it works. Because it's profitable. That's why everybody's using the same methods. And you don't want to do it because you want to be different, or, and what a lot of people are saying, you want to be lazy. And you want to do it fast and easy. Which is your right. But don't be sitting here trying to be holier than thou.
I do it very differently. I'm more organized, more professional.
Oh my god. You really said that. He really said I'm more professional. Bro, look at your setup. And I know my setup is not that great, granted. Again, this is not my full-time job.
Visual kind of guy, organized playlists and everything, you know, like
Oh.
clockwork. I'm here. A lot of people think that's ridiculous that he acts like that. Whatever you say.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Stop the cap.
Alright, I'm not gonna watch the rest of this, but I do want to see some of these comments. He's truly delusional if he thinks that teens can't make a YouTube page and falsify the age. That is true. Damn, dude, if it takes 5 hours to edit a 30-minute video, then you must be editing 24 hours a day. What really bothers me about Phil is that his whole life has been a facade. He wants to say that the DSP of old was some character he was playing, which it's not. And he was just goofing the whole time. No, he wasn't. He was always being his genuine piggy self. I still forget why they call. Oh, I know why they call him a pig, because he snorts. Because he has post-nasal drip. But it's better for newer dents to think he's changed since then and he's grown up. You're not fooling anyone, Phil. Well, he is. His dents. Oh my god. These comments are fucking roasting this guy. He's so smug about his YouTube analytics about his teen years, forgetting that a ton of teens bypass adult restrict. Yep, this is true. This is also true. That is also true. Kids do. Like, hell, I've done it before. Are you kidding me? The fact Phil has to talk about how his audience is definitely all adults. This is fair to kids. He's fucking trolling. Stitching 3 old videos together and adding filters will take him 5 hours of work. He has lost his goddamn mind. That is true to a degree. Like, stitching videos together is probably the easiest thing to do. Especially, hell, I do it all the time in Premiere Pro. Like, it takes me minutes to do. It takes me near minutes. But, alas, that's enough for today's episode of the Doghouse. I want to give a huge shout out to all my fans and supporters of the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Keep doing your thing, and I'll keep doing mine. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. Why don't you do me a little solid? If you're liking what I'm doing, why don't you hit me with a little subscribe. Also like, share, and comment on the video. Also, if you're inclined, why don't you give me a little follow on Twitch. Ooh, and while you're at it, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord server if you're up for it. But in all seriousness, guys, I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Peace.